Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here basically we are discussing about the topic that is city creation. In this basically we are talking about the topic that is 20% error. This is actually the solution basically of the global warming error basically. Here basically we are discussing that basically how 20% education basically is containing the error, and these all are basically education error only basically. In this basically one of the person told that basically text box equal to thousand cities equal to text box. According to the text box basically the business development team basically gets the business and they give the business to the software industry. Few basically are mixed like that basically we have already saw basically. Few people basically tells that basically the software industry is created, that is the text box is created on the base of some certain level of stories, and that story basically are designed by the Bollywood group basically. So they know the story what is going to happen, according to that basically they designs the business. So one of the person told that basically they create the story, or basically they basically what actually they do. Then one of the person told that it might possible basically anything basically is possible. So one of the person told that text box equal to thousand cities. That thousand city basically whenever the city basically has created, that time the Bollywood industry basically knows that basically this city is basically going to generate this text box only data. According to that basically they have designed the, sorry, they have done the advertising, right? Basically, they are not basically creating the city, they are not creating them because they don't have any rights basically. But Sholay movie basically was created by them, so they can basically create the Sholay buildings. They have the rights. Why? Because Sholay movie is their property. So mostly one of the person told that basically in this basically in the world basically where is basically 1 lakh Sholay building basically, because you have told that basically 1 crore human souls of Sholay movie basically has generated. So where is that 1 crore Sholay building? And like this basically more than 1 lakh movies are created. So 1 lakh multiply by some, assume that basically some amount. So more than 10 crore buildings basically are there of the just of the Bollywood group basically. So where are they basically? Then basically it is told that basically few are here, few are here, few are there basically. Then one of the person told that Bollywood basically who is the property owner basically of the Bollywood. Then he told that the Bollywood owner basically are the freelancing group basically. Anybody basically can invest the Bollywood and they can basically do their investment basically. In this basically text box equal to thousand cities. Text box actually is the property of IT industry. They are basically doing the advertising. That like this basically they are creating the incidents also basically you can say that this text box energy basically is going to generate this that basically that this mathematics person basically is going to think up to that level, this that each and everything basically. Science people will think up to that level, arts group are going to think about, commerce stream basically are going to think up to that level. Each and every data basically they designs that this they are not creating it basically, they are doing the advertising of the incidents basically which is going to happen when the text box equal to thousand cities, and thousand cities are going to generate energies, and that energies are going to convert into the human needs. And when that human need basically is consumed by or basically you can say used by the human basically, that time basically the human is going to generate which type of energies basically. Energy means what they are going to do physically, mentally, each and everything basically. By sleeping, each and everything basically they designs basically. Designs means they sometimes they creates movies, so sometimes they create serials, sometimes they create this that basically the each and everything basically they do basically. Like this basically was this was told actually. So like this basically they handles the business also basically. In this basically one of the main business basically they already they it's a their property basically. They told that Sholay movie equal to thousand cities. Sorry, Sholay movie equal to 1 lakh building. So on the base of Sholay human souls, they have created 1 lakh buildings basically. On the base of this basically they have created 1 lakh buildings. So like this basically things are basically there. So one of the person told that yes, basically that things basically are like this only basically. So one of the person told that in this 1 lakh Sholay building basically they have created, they can basically generate the story basically. Then he, they told yes basically they can generate the story. But here basically what about that basically they few basically creates the second part, third part. This one part is not enough basically they have created 1 lakh building. Then it will that's basically depend upon the producer basically. If they likes basically the energy basically of the Sholay movie, that Sholay movie basically has created these doctors, that doctors. If that doctor basically is producing good thing basically, then they basically think of the second part basically. Like this basically many second parts has created. Like holiday movie, holiday second part is created. That means somebody basically liked that holiday energy basically, and on the base of holiday human souls basically lots of birth basically might have happened, and that might have generated lots of things basically. Like this basically the uh, Golmaal movie, Welcome movie, then basically the Chupke Chupke movie. Like this basically many movies basically are there basically in Hindi basically. They basically has converted into the human souls. That is 100% sure basically. Because one movie 80-90,000 basically crore is the income basically. 80-90,000 crore basically. It's not 1 or 2 crore, 1 crore, 2 crore, 3 crore, 100 crore, 200 crore, 1,000 crore, 2,000 crore, 3,000, 10,000, 20,000, like this 90,000 crore. That comes this amount basically. I'm telling about this much amount basically is earned by the groups basically. That is the movie groups basically. That means you can understand basically if this many amount is basically getting income basically, then the investor basically it is not basically the Bollywood group basically. The investor are basically the nuclear power companies basically directly basically. That basically comes to the Reliance, IPCL, ONGC, and AIMS Oxygen. So these all are basically the groups basically who are the main investor basically you can say. For example, one of the person told that who is the investor of the Sholay movie. Then basically one of the few people told that it might be Reliance here. Few basically told that it might be ONGC here. Few told that basically it might be AIMS Oxygen. Few people told that basically it might be IPCL. So basically like this basically the groups are basically divided because they only can invest up to that level. They only basically can create the human source. Normal people basically the Bollywood group basically can create. They have the infrastructure up to that level basically. They have their own nuclear plants basically. So that basically nobody can touch them basically. If anybody is touching them, then basically they can use that nuclear plant. They have any nuclear plant basically. Then they told basically no, yeah, basically we don't have basically. Yeah. Anybody can touch us basically. Anybody can touch us. So like this basically they don't have the nuclear plant basically. But they have the 1 lakh Sholay movie, 1 lakh building. But that basically the property of the producers. That are basically the IPCL, ONGCs, Reliance. Because they only can create the human souls. They only have the rights of creating the human souls basically. They only have the rights basically. They only are connected to create one human souls basically. For example, one of the person told that create 1 lakh Hindu human souls. Then he told that in Hindu basically Bhagavad Gita is there, Hanuman Chalisa is there, this is that. Each and every Krishna Bhagwan books are there basically. Each and every books basically you have to dump into that basically human souls. Then basically you have to dump each and every Hindu Sanskriti basically, like Ganga, Jamuna, Saraswati, this or then Himalaya is there basically. Like this each and every data you have to dump. So you should know na basically that you are creating Hindu human souls. You are creating Hindu human souls. So you are creating Hindu human souls basically. So for that basically you should know basically what actually Hindu is. Then only basically you can create na basically. In next video basically we are going to see a little bit more about the human souls.